This video could change the way you think about Brisbane units. Some people say they're the worst investment you can ever make. However, the past 12 months has told us a completely different story. Look, officially unit prices are up more than 11%, actually outpacing houses, and I've seen a few units that have done a lot more than that. Hi, I'm Shane Mills, and if we haven't met yet, I'm from Bourdain Property Advisory. Look, it doesn't matter if you're a young person who thinks buying an apartment is completely out of reach, or you're an investor who's been told to avoid units like the plague. I get it. But if you've ever wondered whether a Brisbane unit could actually be a smart move, either as your first home or as an investment, stick around because I'm going to give you 5 really strong reasons why buying a unit in Brisbane right now makes a lot of sense. Okay, so first up is affordability. The median Brisbane house price is sitting at just over $1 million and units around $741,000. Now that's a big gap. But here's the thing, in the last 12 months, units actually grew 11% compared to houses at around 7-ish. So not only are they cheaper to get into, they're also increasing in price faster than houses. But here's the key, not all units are created equal. Location does matter. Look for buildings with low body corporate fees and good management. The difference between management is surprisingly significant. Reason number 2 is government support. Queensland is currently offering a $30,000 first homeowner grant if you're buying a brand new property under $750,000. On top of that, there are stamp duty concessions for new builds that can save you even more. And starting October 1st, the Federal Home Guarantee Scheme kicks in. Unlimited places, no income caps, and a Brisbane price cap of $1 million. That means you could buy with just a 5% deposit and no LMI. That's lender's mortgage insurance, which you normally pay when you put down less than 20%. So if you're a first home buyer and thought home ownership was out of reach, these incentives might just be enough to change your mind. Reason number 3 is lifestyle. Brisbane isn't a big country town anymore. It's a really cool modern city with a great lifestyle. Most young buyers don't want to live in the cookie cutter house that's at least an hour's drive away. They want the Instagram lifestyle. They want the cafes, the restaurants, the nightlife, all the sporting events. There's even a place you can go to throw axes while you're drinking beers. True, I don't know who signed off on it, but I think it's a great idea. However, areas like Fortitude Valley, West End and Inner Brisbane all deliver on this lifestyle. Vacancy rates in Brisbane are sitting at record lows, rents are still climbing, demand is strong. So you're not just buying 4 walls, you're buying convenience, the coffee culture and lifestyle. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why do people always think units are such bad investments? My take is they're usually right about 90% of the time. Now let me explain. It's about timing. I've seen a couple of cycles play out, so let's rewind to 2008. So leading into 2008, units were selling like hotcakes. I kid you not, a friend lined up to buy an off-the-plan apartment here in Brisbane, and someone offered her $20,000 to take her spot so they wouldn't miss out. It was crazy. Developers couldn't build them fast enough, buyers were way overcommitting, and then 2008 hit, and it hit the unit market hard. The market cooled, everyone bailed, it was in the news, and units were on the nose. I remember at the time talking to someone who bought 2 off-the-plan apartments on the Gold Coast, only to see overseas investors liquidating apartments in the same building, which automatically crashed her selling expectations. That was devastating to watch. She was actually really upset and it took a long time for her to recover. People took a financial hit, and that's exactly why most people say units are terrible investments. They remember the pain and they look at short-term data. But despite what people say or think, it's only with hindsight that you can look back and see patterns repeating. I've seen fortunes made and fortunes lost. And it's only looking backwards and understanding timing that everything becomes obvious. All I can say is you need to plan for it. Which brings us to reason 4, and that is timing. People will debate property cycles all day long, but just know from what I've seen, unit prices can grow fast. And they can also remain flat for long periods of time, and they can even go down. But here's what I've noticed. After a price pullback, it takes a while for prices to recover, and you can see average growth compared to houses. But then units can absolutely take off. And right now, the data suggests we're in the last phase. Units are up 11% while houses are only at 7%. So while nothing's guaranteed, history suggests we may still have another 12 to 24 months of solid growth ahead. And finally, reason number 5, and that is cash flow. Now, this works whether you're buying it as an investment or you're going to move into it yourself. Now, if you're buying it as an investment, it's all about the numbers. Most people get that. A lot of people, however, are discovering that renting their units out at short stay accommodation can actually make them cash flow positive. But you'll need to do your homework and confirm a couple of things before you go down that path. And for first home buyers, here's something that could be a complete game changer. The Commonwealth Bank are now offering owner-occupiers to include $150 a week of border income into their loan applications. That could boost your borrowing power by around $50,000, which for a single person trying to get into the market is huge. So, are units always a bad investment? Absolutely not. They're timing sensitive, they're policy sensitive, and they're location sensitive. But right now in Brisbane, I think the stars are lining up for affordability, the incentives, the lifestyle, the cycle timing, and cash flow opportunities. Go to bettercallshane.com to grab your free guide now.